What's going on, guys, and welcome back. So I said we had a handful of these deck profiles to do. We do. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. I'm working on another giveaway for you guys, so make sure you stay tuned and come back for that as well. If you want the best online testing, it's not Remote Duels, it is Dragon Rider Games. Link down below. They don't just tell me to promote their thing. I am a partner with it. I am a part of it. I am one of the hosts on it. So I wholeheartedly stand by me because that's really what it is. So come check us out at Dragon Rider Games. Time to time I will play some of them. If I'm like a current format where I'm collecting deck lists for tournaments, I will refuse to play in that format because that's not fair if I'm seeing your deck list for other tournaments because you might use it in the same tournament. So I won't play in a format where I'm collecting deck lists, but this happens to be one where I'm not playing current format because we have rogue format, we have goat format, we will run Edison if you want, we have tag duels, we have 3v3s, we have yugioh pro and dueling book, and of course we have current format. Personally, I just don't play it that much on there for money. I do my dueling book testing for you guys here, working on a testing for this specific deck as well as some other ones. But without further ado, enough talking and rambling on, let's get right into it. Spright. I truly believe that this is the best way to play the deck currently. Unfortunately, it's not very much Cyber Dragon, but it does its job, and it is actually pretty important for what it does. But yeah, like, we're just in a format where Cyber Dragon struggles, and if you want to play Cyber Dragon effectively and you're okay with Cyber Dragon being a lesser part of the deck, Cyber Dragon Sprite is probably the best way to play it. We're running 3 core because it's a level 2. It can summon itself from the deck. It can search out a revival spell, so it is combo on its own. That's all pretty good things. Also, it offers removal in the form of Fortress and Mega Fleet, so again, pretty good. 3 Spright blue, pretty self-explanatory. 3 jet, 2 red, 1 carrot. I really like those ratios. I debated on a Pixie or not. I ended up going without. I think Pixie's pretty format dependent. I don't think it's necessarily needed right now. I do like the 2 reds, 1 carrot. I do play a little bit different. I don't just go yugioh for Schism. I also play the Shaddoll Beast. And the reason here for Beast and Schism, if you open the Schism, you still have to go to Dagra and send your app clone, and then you just don't use the effect, but the effect requires a discard. So essentially you just have 1 less card in your hand. However, if you play the 1 beast, you open the Schism, you search the beast, you discard the beast, you discarded it for an effect, therefore you get to draw a card and it replaces itself. You don't go neg it all in the process, you get to draw another card and keep playing and doing things a little bit better. Or if you open the beast, you search the Schism, you still discard the beast. So I like playing the 2 of them because then it offers the bonus of opening one of them is not a brick, it's actually a good thing, and you keep 1 more card in your hand that way because of the draw. However, I know someone's going to point it out, if you open both, you're absolutely right, you will neg that card, but you still, if you open both, you still discard the beast. Or that's so you can't use the effect. Never mind. That's when I used to play a dragon too, because I had a going second Cyber Dragon Sprite where I played Beast, Dragon, and the Schism. And if you open 2, you just search the 3rd one and then discard the Beast. But again, we're trying to go first here, so ignore that last little bit. But yeah, Shaddoll Beast, Schism. If you open both, you open both. Opening 2 out of 2 in a deck, you know, it's not common. I don't want to say it can't happen. It's just not common, and I'm not going to be that worried about it because opening your 1 of 1 will happen actually more than 2 of 2. So in my eyes, I'm very slightly reducing my bricking chances. Like, I'm talking like less than 2%. So I mean, it's super slight, but you know, I know someone's going to point it out that if you open 2, you brick. Yes, I do. You're absolutely right. Yugioh there, you know, obviously paying 3,000 life points plus the starter can put you at a pretty big negged situation. However, if it all resolves, unless your opponent opens the perfect counter, you will win that game. 2 Druid Worm and 1 Saronir. So basically just playing 3 Bestials as hand trap bodies. I was originally playing Magnamut, and then I cut the Magnamut down to 1, was on like 3 Druid, and I was seeing, I feel like they're even them aren't necessarily as impactful as I would want them to be, and too many people are playing Bestials and too many people are playing Dark, and if you play your Magnamut, then they just use their Dark to summon your Magnamut, they trigger it, and now they just started their whole engine all off of your card, and it just feels really bad. Whereas I'm still playing the Dark, so I can summon their Magnamut, and I can search out my Druid, my Saronir, things like that, but I just don't give my opponent that added advantage. And again, it's just 3 hand traps that are also bodies. 3 Cyber Emergency, 1 Rev System because combo, because search it out from the combo. Can Brick, obviously if you don't open one of those 6 and you do open your Rev System, if that happens, it happens. Combo typically needs a discard though, so unless you opened your Beast or their Schism, you can just discard the Rev System if you really want to. Nice thing about this combo is opening 1 dead card is not bad. Opening multiple can kind of stink, but realistically we're not playing that many to begin with. 3 Spright starters, obviously shouldn't need to say anything. Was trying out 2 smashers. We went to a smasher and a double cross, and I have liked it a little bit more, so for the time being we're going to play 1 and 1 as opposed to 2. 3 prosperity just for the consistency, which the deck already is pretty consistent. It's just a really nice card to have. 2 lightning storms for floodgates, for back row, for flunder, and also because hand traps just are not impactful enough. 2 triple tactics, 1 change of heart, 1 mind control, 1 feather duster. I like my power spells. We're playing the 7 power spells. We have 6 hand traps. I'm pretty happy overall with the choices. No overflow. I know it's, why aren't you playing overflow? Well, I'm never going to get more than 1 pop out of it. And no, I don't typically need to search the Rev System off of core because I'll usually have another level 2 Sprite monster, a starter, something like that to keep going anyway. But realistically, core's more often than not there to take a hand trap and to force them to negate it. Because, you know, especially game 1, you summon core, people are going to negate it. You're playing Cyber Dragon, right? And then you start summoning the Sprite monsters, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I should have held my hand trap. But by then, it's already too late. And like I said, overflow is never going to pop more than 1. And usually I will search out Rev System anyway, because if your opponent hand traps you later, it's nice to have that extender level 2 to keep playing once you're locked, and that overflow, having a pop 1 on your opponent's next turn, usually isn't going to win you that game, whereas the extender to help you push through to their negates and full combo may just get you there. So then the Schism, the double cross, like we said, 3 more hand traps in infinite impermanence. If you need any more explanations on any of that, just let me know down below. Again, I try to tell you guys like my thought process, justification, things that I noticed with the deck when building and trying. 1 Cyber Dragon, this one's kind of weird. I actually put it in recently and it has not come up yet. It would have came up once before it did. I'm just kind of testing this here. I moved the 2 lightning storms into the main too, because again, I was testing things and trying it around. So I had 2 open spots. I put the 1 Fenrir just because that's a really good card. You can use it first or second. I was going to go Pankratops just out of like habit from Cyber Dragon. It's like Fenrir's just better overall, so we're going to go Fenrir. Obviously at 1 it doesn't get to search another copy of it, which loses a little bit, but overall still really good. But the 1 Cyber Dragon, so like if you already have like full Sprite combo, full combo, all that, and you opened Emergency, maybe you don't want to search core. Maybe you want to search Cyber Dragon to make a Mega Fleet and start outing your opponent's board that way. So that's why I side it, but ideally you choose to go first, and this is just a complete brick going first. So I wanted to side it for when I know I'm going second in matchups that it matters, because there's also a lot of matchups, tier limits, that it just quite frankly does not matter. So I didn't want to main deck Cyber Dragon in this build. We side it for when you know it's going to matter and you're going second for sure. The Fenrir's D-Shifter, we can play with our XZs pretty good under Shifter, and the card is just crazy. 3rd Lightning Storm, 3 evenly because back row, Floodgate, control decks suck. Eradicator, just a fun card to play with. It might actually come out. I don't know, I'm really mixed feelings on Eradicator. D-Barrier, I still do like D-Barrier a lot. I thought about Anti-Spell too, because I was like, well, most of mine are important ones are searchable and quick play, and I was like, but my power spells sucks when you draw into them under anti-spell, and like you get into a grindy game and you want to push and you get slowed down by it. I thought about summon limit, because once you're kind of set up and with your elf and everything like that, it's like, okay, summon limit's nice, but like Winda kind of does the same thing. So at the moment we're playing the Eradicator and D-Barrier still. Extra deck, we have the 1 Mega Fleet, the 1 Fortress, App Cologne, and Winda, obviously for those. Double Gigantic, the 1 Cavalry, so like especially under Shifter, if you just go into Cavalry, crash it, it doesn't die, you make a Downer, you make a Zeus, you can wipe the field twice then at that point. Like you can wipe it once on your opponent and then, you know, do what you need to do. Otherwise, we do have Cat Shark, because Gigantic Gigantic, if it uses an Xyz, or not an Xyz, like a Link monster, its extra, or its attack is doubled, so it'd be 3,200. Then Cat Shark can actually make it 6,400, and Cat Shark is 500, which would be 69. And say you have like Elf or anything above 1100, you can OTK if you like Shifter. Cat Shark and this Sprite actually help you OTK if your opponent just has to pass turn and does not have a hand trap, so that is really nice. Again, Downard, Zeus, Almirage, Double Elf, Dark, and then access code. I really considered cutting it too, because, you know, I just don't really go into it often. It's just one of those things where if I go into Dark, take my opponent's monster, I usually want to just like keep going with it, I guess, and that's kind of where access code comes in. But on that same note, it is kind of that card that's right on the precipice of being cut. Biggest thing, like I said, with the extra deck is under Shifter, if they still build a board, you go like Cavalry to the Zeus play. Otherwise, if your hand's right and they just pass turn, you can go like Gigantic, Cat Shark, OTK, and it's just a lot of fun that way. Again, I do think this is sadly the best way to play Cyber Dragon, at least for the time being. Working on our updated Clockwork Knight, pretty much pure build. I mean, we're playing the Regulus, but like Galaxy Soldier, especially with Clockwork Knight, I think Regulus kind of just fits into the whole honorary Cyber Dragon card at this point, because now it's searchable with a staple card, and yeah, so I'm still going to consider that pure. Anyway, like, share, comment down below. Again, working on a replay video. Who did I all play so far? I just 2-0'd a Spright player. Had a ruling debate too, so I'm going to show that replay for sure. 2-0'd Spright with frogs and nimble and all that. 2-0'd Tri Brigade. I think it was 2-0 to Tri Brigade. Yeah, it was 2-0 against Tri Brigade as well, and I can't remember the other deck. He quit after game 1. 3-0 testing in like with the final build. Obviously tested a bunch before that, but with the final version of the build, currently 3-0. Gonna go ahead, get a handful more replays, and then pick like 3 or 4 of the best ones and show you guys that way. But again, comment, like, share, all that good stuff, and thank you guys for watching. Until next time, take care.